Okay, I'm going to teach you how to calculate the salary sheet, but first you're supposed to start with the attendance. There's a file called attendance and penalty. You start with attendance, and then at the end of you do this every day, and then at the end of the month, you calculate the salary. So I'm going to show you how the attendance file is maintained. Now you see, we're in August 2018, right? Every day you're going to get a report from ESSL, right? So the report will look like this, right? This is the report. You get the report. You have different punches. What was the last punch? If you look here, multiple punches. There should be 4 punches in a day. That's when you come in, then you take a punch out for break, and then you punch in, and then you punch out at the end of the day, right? So you get this. Make sure this order, whatever order it's here, it's the same order for all your files, attendance file and your salary sheet file and ESSL. The order needs to be the same. Mention both the companies, Homemade Cafe and Building, so that it separates out, and then you have it in the same order. It just makes life easier, right? So now we go to the attendance file. Now once I go to the attendance file, your first tab that you usually fill out, let's say, is this tab, right? It's called attendance 4. Actually, I would fill this out at the end. The first thing I would fill out is late morning, right? So here you fill out, basically you fill out minus, so everybody's timings are mentioned here, right? So the kitchen staff starts at 10 o'clock and goes on till 11, and then the service team starts at 11 and goes on till 11. So you and some of the office staff have different timings, right? So you fill basically when it's -7, that means that person has come in early by 7 minutes. So it's supposed to come at 10, but this person, let's say, came in at 9:53, so then it's -7, right? So you fill this up. At the end of the month, there is how many times the person has come late more than 15 minutes. That's recorded in LA, the total, and then NP is if they have not punched in the morning, right? It's important to punch, because if somebody's trying to cheat, they will not punch. If they come really, really late, they also don't punch. So these are ways that, this is why this is very important, right? So that nobody cheats. And you also enter, if it's like a leave or weekly off or whatever, you enter that as well, because you don't have any numbers to fill, right? So then you have the late from break. So in the late from break, of course, this sheet might not be accurate information. In late from break, there are a couple of things. One is R is when they punch in and punch out at the same time. This is because on a Saturday or Sunday, it's extremely busy, or we're short of staff. That time, we pay the people to not take a break. So that has to be approved by the manager. Without an approval from the manager, we cannot take this into account, right? So here again, the kitchen staff gets to take 2 hours of break. The service team gets to take 1 hour of break, right? So based on the 1 hour or 2 hours of break, you mention whether that person took less 13 minutes less break, or if that person took 8 minutes more break. So you enter those numbers, right? So you also now you also have LB, which is late from break. If it's more than 15 minutes late from break, it also gets recorded here. And then R is reward for not taking a break. That's only by approval by manager, only for Saturday and Sunday when there is a shortage of staff, right? N is when you have not punched. That means you will be penalized, right? So again, you enter for the entire month, and then there's a calculation that calculates that. Then there's a summary file we have, which actually takes into account all of that. So third, so it says left early 3, right? So this is, let's say you're supposed to leave at 11. I mean, usually 11:30. Make sure that then you enter the numbers. If somebody left 25 minutes early, or somebody left 20 minutes late, all of that, right? So here it's important for you to know that you're entering 11. Let's say if for somebody, it's the opposite here, so be very very careful here. It's the opposite, right? If somebody is supposed to leave at 11 and they're left at 11:15, that means they're left, that's fine. So 15 minutes will be minus. If they're left early, that would be plus. So make sure you make that switch. This is very very important. It works differently. You're supposed to come in early, but then here the timings when you leave, you're supposed to, leaving later is better. So it's the opposite, right? So make sure you do the calculations properly here, right? Again, there is, late and then not punched, the summary of that. Now, so four, this is where you have whether the person is present, is weekly off, is special leave, all of this. Now there's a legend here. I'll take you to the legend. So here's the legend, which is also there in the last tab. There are different things. The XX is warning from Falgun. O is basically, a person who's let's say is joining on the 20th. From 1st to 19th is O, because that person is not joined. Then P is present. So everything is here. So I'll explain it again. XX is warning from Falgun. O is when that person has not worked because he's not even started, he or she. E is extra days work. P is present. W is weekly off. S is special leave with permission, right, for emergency or sickness. SX is when they call last minute and they take leave. X is when they take leave without permission. That's definitely a no-no. Half days, half day with permission. HX is half day without permission. They go home and then they don't come back. They don't even inform. Then NP is not punched. N is, let's say, during a break they don't punch. R is reward for working during the break. Right? So you fill that out here. In this sheet, you fill it out, right? And then you see what happens. You have all of the summary. It adds up here, right? This is also something that you copy and paste it into the salary sheet, so that when we are paying, we know what's going on. Then you come to, one second. Then you come to the penalty sheet. So you don't need to do anything from the previous month. You just copy the formulas down. I mean, this whole attendance thing should not take you more than half an hour, right? So then you come down, right? You basically copy the formulas from the previous month. Make sure the rows are the same. Let's say if T2 is 1514 on the other tabs, on row 1514, it should be on row 1514 on all the tabs. Make sure the rows are aligning for all of the people. Right now, all of these are formulas. It will automatically calculate. The most important now you will know is that how many days the person was absent, and then that's again taken into our salary calculation file. So column D is very important, and then column C is very important, because this is loss of pay. Right, if somebody's made a lot of violations, not coming on time and things like that, it adds up here. Right, so now there are other, we expect you to shave, and wear an apron. You've showered. You're wearing proper shirt. You're wearing proper pant. You're wearing proper shoes. You're wearing proper belt. Wearing cap for whoever, and you're doing your job right. So now this information is then taken into the salary calculation file. Now let me go to the salary calculation file here. Now here, so what's important, I will just go through what's important. Right, so one second before I go to that, I'll just see if I missed anything. I made my notes just to make sure this is done right. So I'll just see. So check if everybody's timings is fine. For reference, like 11 to 11, 10 to 11, and so on. That's a note I made. And then after that, download the attendance, start time, break-in time, breakout, leaving time. Make sure you do it every day. Don't keep anything, pending for the end of the month. Right, this is the legend. I'm going to delete it because we have covered that. All of the rows aligned, we've covered that. Right, so check to make sure break hours are right for all, one or 2 hours break. If taken 10 minutes extra break, mention 10, and if taken 10 minutes less, mention -10. And I'm reminding you again, it's the opposite for leaving early. Okay, check left early tab and enter time. So that I've discussed. While you're copying formulas, be careful. And when you pull down the formula, be careful. Right, so everything we have copied. Fine. Now, there are different tabs for different things. It's important for you to make sure that you keep all the information in all of these different tabs. It's very important, otherwise you're making a lot of mistakes in salary calculation. So whatever I've highlighted in red is most important. So for new joinee, this is where every month you keep a track of all the new joinees. It's important. This is where all the information is collected. So some of the most important information is, give them a code, make sure they are entered into the ESSL attendance machine, their data, their fingerprints, their bank account is there, bank name, IFSC code. There's a separate tab for that. Then for PF, they're registered in PF. Then there's a PF joining date. Then PAN, ESI number, basic, all of their basic HRA. Have all these details ready at the beginning of the month. Don't wait, till when you're calculating your salary calculations to find out what their salary is on all that. Be proactive, right? Basic HRA, conveyance, medical, all of these different things, other irons, gross, whatever is required for your salary calculation. Make sure all of that is ready. Also, as per minimum salaries, minimum wages act, there are certain basic salaries to be followed. Just make sure all of that, designation, what is the basic minimum wages, DA, all of that is there because you need this for your salary calculation. And then also there's a tab for CTC. Just enter in that tab as well so that we know what's the CTC to the company for that person. Now, for resigning, when somebody resigns, again, make sure all the information is entered. Most important is date of leaving, number of days notice paid to be payable, for that person. Leave encashment, is there any leave to be encashed? Number of days notice paid to be recovered from that person. Is there any loan? Is there any salary advance? Is there any excess mobile? Anything that needs to be recovered needs to be entered here. This is very important for us. Be diligent. Even if there's 1,000 rupees that the person we need to recover, make sure you enter because you don't want us to lose that money, right? You need to care so that we care as well, right? It cannot work one way, right? I mean, you cannot cheat somebody and ask them to also be right with you, right? If there's any changes in the salary master, then update here. So if anybody's sort of salary change, they got promoted, the salary increased, keep a track here. This is the bank master. So all of the bank details of all of the people need to be here. If somebody is missed, then keep a track here so that you know who needs to give, right? It's important for you to keep a track here. If there's any change in any of the other details, department, designation, keep a track here. This is one-time payments. If we are paying them a bonus or something like that, or any performance incentive every month, then make a note here. Right? So every month, even if it's blank, make sure you copy that for that month, leave it blank.